Today on Zoom,
I present the castle cake. This is probably going to get kind of messy.
if you could go back in time, what would you most want to see?
I think I would go back to the Ice Age because I love to ice skate and that would be really fun.
Yabba scubba double rubber abba rubber trouble butt buddies.
Okay.
Funding for Zoom is provided by
The National Science Foundation.
America's Investment in the Future, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting,
A private corporation funded by the American people and by
contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thanks! Hey, Francis!
Come on, everybody!
Alrighty, let's go!
Come on, guys, let's do it!
Come on and zoom, 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 on zoom. Oh yeah, come on and zoom. You call the zoom. Come on and zoom. We're starting soon. Come on and zoom, on zoom, on zoom, on zoom, 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 zoom. I'm Francis.
Hey, I'm Kenny.
Zoom. I'm Rachel. Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm Eric.
Zoom, zoom. Hi, I'm Kaylee.
Hey, I'm Bud.
I'm Caroline. We're all plugged into one world now. So let's talk.
We want to hear from you.
Come on, give it a try. And if you like what you see, turn off your TV and do it. Zoom, 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 zoom. Come on and zoom.
Yeah.
Come on and zoom. Come on and zoom, 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 on zoom, 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 zoom. On and zoom, 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 on zoom, on zoom, on zoom. Hey Zoomers, welcome to Zoom. Today we're going to start off with an old favorite, emailed to us by Claire from Maryland. It's the wheelbarrow race. Okay, get in your position.
All right.
Ready, Francis? Yep. Good. Should I pick you up? You ready? Set. Go. Come on, it's on. The yellow team is in the lead, and the blue and the orange are tied. Come on, yellow. You're doing awesome. Come on, orange. The blue's catching up. Come on, keep going, yellow. You're in the lead. Orange is catching up. Keep going, guys. Oh, blue, you can do it. Come on. Yeah, Bud. Come on, Eric. Yeah, yellow team. Oh, yellow, you're almost there. Come on, orange. Keep going. We have a winner. Who's going to come in second? The blue or the orange? Oh, the blue. The blue won. Good job, you guys are so close.
Royal Zoomers, I present the castle cake, sent in by Catherine and Cletus A. of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here are the towers, the door, the moat, and the drawbridge. It's the Kingdom of Zoom. Here's what you'll need to make one. A 9-inch by 13-inch sheet cake for the main building. It can be homemade or from a mix. 2 cans of store-bought frosting or 3 cups of homemade frosting to paint your castle. 2 cupcakes. You can make them using some of the batter you use to make your cake. These will be your towers. And 2 chocolate bars that break into sections, a vanilla cookie, and half a graham cracker for the final touches on your cake. Okay, here's what you do first. You want to take your sheet cake and cut it in half the short way. But be careful with the knife so you don't cut yourself, because knives are sharp. Okay, just like that. So there are 2 parts to it. Okay, then take one of your halves and frost the top. Okay, so take your frosting. This is kind of like the glue, so the other cake will stick on top of it. Okay, take some frosting and just spread it around. This is probably going to get kind of messy because it's a lot of frosting and it's chocolate. And it tastes good, so it's going to get messy. Okay, just like that. Then you want to take your other half and flip it upside down on top of the other one, so that the flat bottom of the second half becomes the top of your castle. Okay, just like that. Now, to frost your castle. When frosting your castle, it's kind of easier if you, when frosting the sides, to work your way starting on the bottom and work your way to the top. And you want to fill in all the gaps with frosting. And when you're frosting the sides, that the spaces in between don't show from the outside. Okay. My dad makes cakes, and he taught me this really cool thingy, which makes the frosting easier to spread. If you put a lot of frosting right where you need it, and then wipe it off a little bit, and then dip it in water, it makes the frosting smoother, and it's easier to spread. Wow. This is probably going to take a while. All right. Now you want to start to decorate your cake. You want to first add your cupcakes to the top. These are your towers, and they should be frosted to match the rest of the cake. Just frost a little on here. Just so you can get the chocolate bars to stick. Okay. Now you want to take your chocolate bars and place them around the towers. There. Now I'm going to take my vanilla cookie and put it right in front and stick it, push it a little bit. That's the door. Now, take my graham crackers, well, half a graham cracker, put them together, and just place it right here. You can also get a piece of paper when you serve the cake and put it around so it looks like a moat. And that's it. You have your castle cake. Okay, bon appetit. Let's see if I can cut these off right here. Wow, it's messy. It's really good.
If you're cooking up a storm, we need to be informed. When you're stirring up a stew, you gotta tell us what to do. We need you. Show us how you chop it. Slice it. Any way you slice it. If you wanna see it on your TV, here's a simple recipe. You've got to send us email. Send it to Zoom. Email. PSKids.org. PSKids.org.
This is Egypt, and it's in northeastern Africa. This is where I am, and this is where Egypt is. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm 9 years old. I live in Fanwood, New Jersey. I like studying about Egypt. The ancient Egyptian civilization existed 5,000 years ago. They had a lot of knowledge about science and mathematics. When I was 5, I sent away for this book. I thought it was about Frankenstein, but it turned out it was about Egypt. And I learned about it, and it was really cool. I was really fascinated by their hieroglyphic alphabet, so I taught myself how to write hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics are the ancient Egyptian form of writing. There are 3 different types of hieroglyphics. You can have sound, you can have letters, and you can have single words with one picture, like the sun equals sun. Most kids could probably draw hieroglyphics if they tried to draw them. If you can draw like hands and foots and birds, pretty easy. Now I'm going to write Zoom hieroglyphics. equals Z. This hieroglyphics equals the double O. This hieroglyphics equals the M, which equals Z-O-O-M. And that spells out Zoom. If you can't go to Egypt, go to a museum. Let's go. We're here in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. They have one of the largest collections of Egyptian art in the whole world.
Let's walk up this way. Should we go see it?
Yeah. I came with my dad to check it out.
Can you read that cartouche?
Oh, sort of. And now we're in the Temple of Dender. This temple was from Egypt, was a gift to the United States of America. Those are hieroglyphics up there, and there, and there.
Do you recognize any of the gods?
The Egyptians carved hieroglyphics on stone. Here are some of them. I think I'm going to become an Egyptologist when I grow up. They study Egypt and artifacts. If you want to learn more about Egypt, go to a museum near you.
Rachel Owl of Merrick, New York, sent us these Fanny Dooleys.
Fanny Dooley likes cheeks, but doesn't like faces. Why do you think that is?
Fanny Dooley likes mirrors, but doesn't like reflections. Why do you think that is?
Fanny Dooley likes glass, but doesn't like windows. Why do you think that is?
Who is Fanny Dooley? What does she like? What doesn't she like? When you've figured out the answers to these questions, come up with your own Fanny Dooleys and send them to Zoom. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Here's a what's up of Jessica M. of Philadelphia, PA. If you could live in any time period of history, which one would it be and why? If I could live in any period of history, it would be 1970s because I get to dance the disco. The ancient Chinese period, because when the Han Dynasty fell in 220 BC, I think I would have been good to fix it back up because I want to be an architect and an engineer. I would live during the Civil War time period because I really like history and I wanted to meet Robert E. Lee. I choose to live when they invented electricity because I think it would be cool to see how it was done. I would live in the 1400s to the 1500s because I would like to be one of the first people to discover America. I would live in the future because I think there would be spaceships and really cool stuff. I would probably stay where I am because I like my life.
Zoom, Jack. Zoom.
Check.
Zoom, Jack.
Dear Zoom, I have a question you guys might want to discuss on a Zoom chat. If you could go back in time, what would you most want to see? Your friend, Maria P. of Forestdale, Massachusetts.
If I went back in time, I think I would go back to the Ice Age because I love to, like, ice skate, and that would be really fun. Play with the snow on the Ice Age, play with snow.
Wouldn't you get cold?
Yeah, but I'd have those long furry clothes that'll keep me warm, and it would be fun to just play in the
That would be
snow.
cool.
I know.
Make a snowman, a giant snowman because there's so much snow.
That would be cool.
I would want to go back in time when Albert Einstein was alive, just so I could, like, talk to him and ask him questions and see if he could, like, teach me something, because he's, like, really smart. He's, like, the smartest guy.
That would be cool. Because you can ask them, like, what E equals MC squared means and all that stuff.
If I went back in time, I'd probably go back to my city where I live and see how the people there were, like, how they dressed and how like, what my house looked like. Even though my house wasn't probably there, but yeah. Like, I don't know, around 1940s or something. But it would be really neat to see what, if I were born then, what it would be like and how different
Living
compare, like, what I do, yeah.
Stuck between two. I think I'd either go back to Shakespeare time and see one of his plays performed live, Whoa, that'd be cool.
that'd be
Or go back to like the days before the Titanic sank and just walk around the deck and
That'd be cool.
Get off. Save lots of people. Tell them.
so you know before it happens.
You guys are going down.
The Shakespeare one would be cool. Like, I read The Midsummer Night's Dream, and it was really cool. So that'd be cool to, like, actually see it. Because
you like see all these Shakespeare things written down in books and then you like try to portray them yourself. But if you go back in time and like actually see them,
yeah.
I guess I want to go back to the dinosaur age.
That'd be cool. I'd be scared, though, if I saw dinosaurs.
so on.
Whoa. But that would be awesome to find out
How they die.
Right, and how...
They be walking around.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful though. Because the way they could die, you could like
Well, not too
die back in time.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Like our scene. Hey, Zoomers. Do you remember when we asked you to keep track of the time that your streetlights went on? Well, here's some data we got from Portland, Maine, Boulder, Colorado, and Berkeley, California for May, June, and July. In order to identify a pattern, we made a line graph of the times that the streetlights turned on. This red line is Portland's data. The yellow line is Boulder's data. And the blue line is Berkeley's. All three cities have the same pattern. The streetlights come on later and later, and then they come on earlier and earlier. So the sun is setting later in the day here and earlier in the day here. The streetlights all come on the latest at the end of June. That's because the longest day of the year is in June. On the longest day of the year, the sun rises earliest in the morning and sets the latest in the evening. Since the sun sets the latest, the streetlights turned on the latest. Why don't you try watching the streetlights in your neighborhood, right around the time that it gets dark? Be sure to keep track of what time they go on. If you do this at least 3 times a week for 2 weeks, you'll probably start to see a pattern. Write down the date, the time, and what the weather was like. Because you'll notice that the weather sometimes affects the time the streetlights go on. Like on this day when it was rainy in Berkeley, and this day when it was foggy in Portland. Then send your data to the Zoom website at pbskids.org, where you can see data sent in by Zoomers all around the country.
Here are 2 members of the Zoom team. Casey and Timothy G. of Califon, New Jersey, wanted to help kids understand what life was like 300 years ago. So, dressed in costumes, they gave tours at a restored colonial village, volunteering over 100 hours of their time. Nice going, Casey and Timothy. And here's how you can be a member of the Zoom team. Volunteer your time, taking care of animals at a shelter, delivering hot meals to senior citizens, or tutoring kids who need help with their schoolwork. Be sure to tell us about it at the Zoom website, where you can find out what other kids are doing and learn how you can volunteer.
Zoom into action. Zoom into action. And join the Zoom team.
Do you like to play checkers? Well, here's a fun thing that you can do with the checkerboard. DJ F emailed us this challenge. We have to cover an entire checkerboard with strips of paper that are exactly the size of 2 squares on the checkerboard. I think I have an idea.
Yeah.
Well, since there are 8 squares going down one side and 8 on the other,
Yeah.
if you multiply 8 times 8 is 64. So there'll be 64 squares altogether. And since we only have to use the strips here, since these are only the size of 2 squares, if we divide 64 in half, then we get 32. So I think they're just going to take 32 of these strips of paper to cover this entire checkerboard. You want to try it?
Sure.
So what if we went down like this the entire way? 1, bang, 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 like that.
Okay.
And then went to another row.
All right, let's try.
So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll take these. 16, 29,
30,
31.
and 32.
That's right.
That's
Yes,
okay.
32.
Good job.
Good job.
Okay, let's try it a different way. Pushing it down. Let's put a black square on the top left corner.
Okay.
And the bottom, let's cover the squares on the bottom right. Do you still think that we can cover the board using only our strips of paper?
Yes, I can mind. Without the strips on, there's 64 squares.
And that's an even number.
Yeah. But
And-
now, if you take away 2,
There's 62.
that makes 62 squares. Still an even
Oh,
number.
it's still an even number, so I
Yeah.
think we can cover it up. Okay, let's try it.
Okie 3, 4, 17, 18, 19.
27, yep. 28,
Oh, we got one more because now you have 2 extras.
Nine.
Now you have 2 extras. Ooh.
29, hold on.
Maybe if we just put them down this way.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Put them right here.
Okay. There's one right here. You can stick that right here.
Look, those are 2 extra.
Ooh, this
This is hard.
right here and right here. Alright, there's 4 left, and they're each in different places.
Yeah.
If we put one right here, we can't put another one diagonally.
Yeah.
And if we put one straight, we can't cover it up. It's like this. Okay.
What if we just switch these around? We do
Good
something
idea.
Like that. Then that.
Still the same thing.
Yeah. It was impossible for us to cover the checkerboard when we couldn't use the corner squares. Here's why. Each one of these strips covered 1 red and 1 black square of the checkerboard. See? 1 red, 1 black. 1 red and 1 black. 1 red and 1 black. But when we covered the top and bottom corners, we took 2 red squares out. So there's 1 square out, there's 2 red squares out. That's why we always had 2 black squares left over. If you know any other challenges using patterns, send them to Zoom.
Welcome, Zoomers. Today we bring you a version of the classic fairy tale, Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, in Ubby-Dubby. So it's Rubby Bubbers, Wum Fubber Ubba Wubbock. Of in Goldilocks Lovocks, Thumb Never Have House, Other Never Fubber Ubbage, Wubby Tongue Tubble Cubble. Bubbers, Shubby Chubby, Pubba Pubbers Fubber Ubbage.
Habu, habot.
Nubex, Shubby Chubby, Mubba Mubbers Fubber Ubbage.
Cabu, cabled.
Oven Mama, Chubby Chubby, Bobby Bubby's Fubber Ubbage.
Jabba, Rabbi. Abba, Tabby, Rabbit, Taboo.
Oven Chubby, Ubby Tubby, Ubba, Ubba.
Yaban. Abu, Abba, Wabba. Tabba, Cover, Abba, Nabas.
Oven Chubby, Bubba, Dog, Stubber, Stubby, Tubby, Cover, Nubber.
Nabba, Wabba. Nabo, Habo. Shabba, Trabba.
Mommy Mama, the ballers coming home.
Alright. Some woman's bobbing up and having my power rubbish. Hum.
Habe. Some woman's bubbling Abby telling my papa rubbish. Hubum. Habe. Some woman has bubbling Abby telling my papa rubbish. Abba, Abby, telling Abba, Abba.
Oven, Seven Woman, Bravo Cover, Chabert.
Cover 'em up on.
Come on, come on.
Coming yabble scabble double rubber abba lubba tubble butt please.
Okay.
Yabba jabba papa rubbish.
David yabble brave cover Chabert. And then wubba wubba yabble double rubbing rubbing my bubbit. Wubbo yabble stabby. Wubba!
Obey.
Obey! Obey! Wubbo!
Oven double bubbers. Double bubber summer gold doughy bobots of a gubbin.
Zoom zones are places in museums around the country where you can do activities you see on Zoom. Go to the Zoom website to see if there's a Zoom zone near you at pbskids.org or America Online. Keyword PBS Kids. All submissions become the property of Zoom.
And will be eligible for inclusion in all Zoom media.
This means that we can share your ideas
With other Zoomers on TV,
The web, in print materials,
And in other Zoom ways.
so send it to Zoom.
Oven stubborn woman with her bravo covered Chabert. Never yabba double hubba nubby.
Coming you, scubble double rubber, abba lubba double bubbit please.
Okay.
Funding for Zoom is provided by
the National Science Foundation.
America's Investment in the Future, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting,
A private corporation funded by the American people.
And by
contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thanks! A production of WGBH Boston.